Our other top story tonight, a major poll shows Americans believe race relations are worse now than they've been in 17 years.
The poll is from CBS News, and it reflects the deep national divide created by recent events such as the Ferguson shooting and the Garner chokehold case in New York.
KCAL 9 political reporter Dave Bryan is live in LA's West Side with more on the poll numbers and reaction from right here in Southern California. Dave.
Sylvia Lena, back in 2009, shortly after President Obama was elected president, the poll numbers show that 2/3 of Americans thought that race relations were now good in America. Well, that number has dropped significantly in the last 5 years, and recent events have been pushing it lower. The racially tinged police cases in Ferguson and New York City have pushed race relations back into the headlines. And a CBS News poll shows the percentage of Americans who feel race relations in the U.S. are good has now dropped from 66% in 2009 to just 45% today. That's the lowest number in 17 years. And the racial divide appears to be getting wider. The poll found that 51% of whites are pleased or satisfied with the grand jury decision in Ferguson not to indict the police officer who killed Michael Brown, while 87% of blacks were disappointed or angry about the decision not to indict in the Eric Garner case in New York.
Shut it down!
And while 80% of whites say a police presence in their community makes them feel mostly safe, and 52% of blacks agree with that sentiment, 43% of blacks say the presence of police in their community makes them feel mostly anxious.
The CBS poll really gives us a glimpse into what's going on. And I certainly don't think we should be surprised that there is a surge in negativity after Ferguson and after New York and Garner.
LA Police Commission President Steve Soboroff says the poll tells him there's still more work to do for the LAPD in connecting with communities of color, even though he says the department has already made great strides in that direction.
Relationships in the community, although we are top-notch at it, I think that we can do better. We can do more in the communities. Every sensitivity training, the psychology of relationships, of arrests.
Dean Frank Gilliam Jr., who heads the School of Public Affairs at UCLA, says although recent events are certainly part of what's driving the poll on race relations, there's another piece which is more deep-seated, the vastly different experience and perception of race issues, which is still a part of everyday life for all black Americans, including him.
I had a talk with my 16-year-old son today who is learning to drive. If the police stop you, put both hands on the wheel. Do not take them off the wheel. If the police say anything to you, say yes, sir. No matter, don't get into an argument about them with what you've done or what you've not done. Now think about that, Dave. I'm having to have a talk with a young boy about what he has to do to make sure he stays alive on a traffic stop.
Now, Police Commission President Soboroff says one of the things he wants to push hard on is getting body cameras for all police officers. He says by having them, it will at least clarify what happens in events like Ferguson, where there was no camera on the scene. Reporting live, Dave Bryan, KCAL 9 News.